let's take our viewers through what the big takeaways are. There is no end to the stalemate as far as the hijab controversy in Karnataka goes, because the two judges gave a split verdict. There were divergence of opinions as far as the SC judge bent. One of the justices, Justice Gupta, decided to scrap all these petitions that were challenging the Karnataka High Court's order. Another judge, Justice Dhulia, scrapped the government's order. He says that all restrictions on hijab must be removed, and because they could not see eye to eye, and because there was a diverging opinion, it has now decided that the Chief Justice of the country will be taking a call on a larger bench that will decide on this particular matter. So a 3-judge bench or more will now be constituted, and they will be looking into the matter. They will start hearing arguments from both sides afresh. Amber Zaidi and Brinda Adige continue to be with me. And Brinda Adige, there is an argument of choice that is being made as far as the choice of these students is concerned. That it is their choice that they want to wear a hijab. It does not hamper their life otherwise. Why are you blocking their education just because you want to enforce a certain rule? This is an imposition on their fundamental rights, is the argument that's being made.
Absolutely. And this is not only a logical reasoning, but it is a fair reasoning, a fair question, telling people that the right of the woman has to be upheld. And I'm so glad that one of the judges is reaffirming the issue of choice for this woman, to make a decision whether she wants to wear it or not want to wear it, as long as it is within the ambit of the code of modesty. We know that hijab is worn by many girls in the north, even in Kendriya Vidyalaya schools, and they have been continuing to do so. There has not been any kind of inequality or discrimination either on them or to other students. Now, why something like this has come in is a question that we must ask of the state. Why this patriarchal theocracy? Why this diktat on the woman of what she should wear in the name of a uniform? How is it that the uniform must have a dupatta? Why would you want to have a dupatta at all? So these are very many questions that
Brinda Adige, it's interesting you talk of patriarchal mindset, because the argument that the other side is making is also just that it is patriarchal and regressive. The fact that you're wanting young girls to wear a hijab. Who really is imposing themselves on these kids? Is it the state or is it the society, Amber Zaidi? That's another debate that is raging on.
Absolutely, Shivani, because the question arises when we talk about the choice. How can an underage girl can make a choice when this such regressive practice is being forced on young girls since ages and ages in the name of religion? And in the your package also, a girl was saying that hame superior feel hota. That is the mentality, and that is the question. We are not questioning or stopping anyone to not to wear hijab. Today's verdict, I had high hopes, and in fact, during such a crucial time, and the entire globe was looking at India because the rampant protests are going on across the globe against the hijab, that Iran hijab protest has been going on. So India is a secular democratic republic, the largest democracy of the world. People were looking at India, and this was the opportunity to strike down such religious or these fundamentalists who want to enforce such regressive practices on women. 2-judge bench delivers split verdict in the hijab ban case today. Justice Hemant Gupta upholds the ban and rules hijab is not an essential religious practice. Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia strikes down ban on hijab, says education of the girl child is most important, which means that bench failed to arrive at a consensus on this matter. Now it is going to get looked by a larger bench of Supreme Court. But my concern here is, Shivani, that if in case the Supreme Court, the larger bench is going to get, if that larger bench allows the hijab in a school or in institutions, and later the Muslim girls, they can face some kind of some discrimination, or some kind of this later on the morality police can come to them, and they can force that hijab or burqa can be forced on anyone, not just on Muslim girls. So we cannot, this is the that time is in part that unlike that Iran, the situation is Iran such that the morality police is forcing hijab on girls, that if even if this kind of hair is out, the girls are being killed. So we have to strike down such regressive mindset in India. India, yes, is a secular democratic nation, but again, in the name of choice, you cannot force such regressive practice on girls, and we have to talk on that aspect also. That it is a parent's choice if under girl age is what school they want to go. Or
Right,
what,
and that also was something that
choice.
did come up in the course of the hearing in this particular case. And Amar Zadi, I just want to correct you. This is Poonam here. Brinda Adige, I did see you putting your hand up, and the choice really is an argument that could open a Pandora's box, is what many are saying. There is a uniform, there is a prescribed uniform for schools. It is an educational institution. You are free to wear your hijab outside. Just when you enter the classroom, you need to take it off, because there is need for equality and there is need for uniformity. Tomorrow, I cannot.
I completely agree with you on the uniformity, but the point, the aspect and issue that we want to ask is, do we restrict anybody wearing a thread on their wrist, or a bindi on their forehead, or a chain on across their on their neck? We do not restrict. We are inclusive. We accept all of it. The hijab does nothing to anybody else. What we want to tell over here is this choice of an 8-year-old is a bizarre argument. No 8-year-old can choose which school to go to, or what uniform to wear, or what subjects to study. So let's not even get into it. Here we are talking of girls who are 15, 16, 17 years old, who have the access to go for higher education because they are wearing the hijab. And that, I think, is a choice that they are making. So let them do so. What is regressive? Parda is regressive. Having God's photographs in my court and in my government office and all the educational institutions is regressive or progressive, because we love all the gods. So let's not get into that regression. Regressiveness is there. Patriarchy is there. Parda is as much patriarchy as much as the hijab. But here we are talking, if the girls in India choose they want to wear the hijab, probably in course of time they would become an Iran, where they will turn around and say, we don't want to wear it. That is also their choice. That choice cannot be thwarted. It is a constitutional choice.
Absolutely, and no one is questioning for them to have that choice. It's just that when you enter the classroom, when everyone is supposed to be wearing a certain uniform, and from what I remember from when the time that we went to school, I don't think wearing a bindi or wearing a thread was allowed. There was absolutely no way you could have an open display of religious symbols, and that perhaps is the argument that's being made in this particular case as well. I request both of you to stay on with me, because the political fight over this is escalating. We have heard reactions coming in from the Congress party and the BJP, but the AIMIM also